صل على محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. سلام علیکم. So may Allah accept all your amal, all your prayers and fasting during this path 10-11 nights. Inshallah, we're going to continue our programs tonight as usual. After my short announcement, Maulana Sayyid Hussein Razavi is going to deliver the speech, and at the same time we're going to have kids program for the kids ages 5 to 12 years old. It's going to be in Farsi Hall, and they have already started. So brothers and sisters, please have your kids in the Farsi Hall, and if they are actually ages 2 to 5 years old, it's the babysitting room down the hall in the pre-K room toward the Rise Academy site. So both of the teachers and instructors are ready and accepting their kids. So please have your kids in one of these two rooms. Especially from tonight, we are expecting the crowd to actually increase. So we really appreciate if you can help us to keep the hall quiet and also help with the cleanup and all the logistical efforts at Saba. So after Maulana's talk tonight, we're going to have a second, or as a reminder, to our security presentation. If you remember, last Thursday we had a security presentation. Again, we're going to have a security presentation for those who missed it, and actually with a little more information, extra information. So inshallah, we're going to end speech at 8, and from 8 to 8:20 we're going to have a security presentation. With that said, if my dear brothers and dear sisters can make the all quiet, I'm going to invite our dear Maulana Sayyid Hussein Razavi with the loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيت طيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ولعنة الله على أعدائهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله نعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. صل على محمد وآل. Our discussion since the beginning of the month of Ramadan has been about taqwa, how we can enhance our taqwa, how we can raise our level of taqwa. Our level of taqwa is not only contingent upon the amount of a'mal that we do, the amount that we pray, the amount that we worship, the amount of dua, the amount of munajat, but also one of the other things which also impacts our level of taqwa is the type of relations that we have with those people who have rights upon us. And we said that those people who have the greatest rights upon us are our closest family members, our spouses, our children, and our parents. So all of these things combined, they also have a very important impact on our level of taqwa. It's not just a matter of us increasing our level of recitation of the Quran, increasing our ibadat, increasing our du'as, and that's it. No, actually our taqwa is also depends upon how our interactions and how our relationship with those family members are. So the last couple of nights we've spoken about our relationship with our spouses. We've spoken about our relationship with how we're supposed to raise our children, how we're supposed to create an environment where the children grow up to be muttaqi, to be those who possess taqwa, to those who are inclined towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and inclined towards worshipping Him. So tonight, one of the other things which also impacts our level of taqwa is our relationship with our parents. Regardless of whether our parents are alive or whether they have passed away, our level of taqwa also is impacted with the type of relationship that we have with them. If we look at several verses of the Quran, we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'll read the verses in Surah Baqarah, verse number 83. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ. And when we have taken a covenant from Bani Israel, لَا تَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, that you should not worship anyone other than Allah. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and that to their parents, they should do ihsan, they should do good. Another verse, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded, أَن لَا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهِ, that you should not worship anyone other than Him. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and the same thing, and then to your walidain, you should do ihsan. وَعْبُدُ اللَّهِ, worship Allah. وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا, and do not do shirk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do not ascribe partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and do good to your parents. لَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. So we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about parents in the Quran, it's always linked with the concept of Tawheed. It's always linked with the concept of worship. It's always linked with the concept of not ascribing partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create this type of linkage between Tawheed and between parents? And this is an important question that inshallah I'll try to answer tonight. The answer to this question lies in how do we recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, unlike many other existence which are there, we cannot understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His dhat. We cannot understand Him through His essence. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is infinity, we don't have the capacity to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the way that we understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a different way than we understand things. When we understand different things, we can use our five senses, we can use the different things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed in our control so we can understand. If I want to see a phone and come to recognition of a phone, I use my eyes, I use my fingers. But when we use these, we cannot use these same things to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not defined by these parameters. So how do we come to recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not through His dhat, but we understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His ayat, through His signs. His signs show us that He exists. His signs show us that He's there. His signs shows us that we have to make a relationship and we have to make a connection with Him. There's a couple of examples of things which we cannot understand through the dhat, but we understand through the ayat. For example, love. The love that our parents have for us. We cannot see where that love is, but we know that our parents say that they love us. Why? Because they sacrifice for us. They spend time with us. They spend money on us. They spend a lot of different things with us. And so they hug us, they kiss us, they do these type of things. So we cannot tell where the love of our parents are, but we can tell the athar. We can tell the signs of that love. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we cannot tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists through His dhat. We can only tell through His essence, through His athar, through the effects. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. So just as we recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the blessings that He's given us in our lives, through our eyes and ears and hands and bodies and all the other blessings that we have in our lives, we recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the blessings which He's given us. And so by us recognizing His blessings, we are recognizing Him. That's why we have a hadith which say, do not reflect about the dhat of Allah, because we can't understand the dhat of Allah. We have to reflect about the athar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so when we come to recognition of those athar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and those signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we come to a better recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And just when we recognize His athar, when we recognize His blessings, then we worship Him, then we pray to Him, then we ask Him for assistance. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali. And so just as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us and showered us with blessings in our lives, our parents are those individuals who have blessed us and supported us in the same way. And so just as we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessings, we also have to thank our parents for the blessings, because our parents were the dhari'ah. They were the means for those divine blessings to come into our lives. And if we do not thank our parents, if we do not appreciate our parents, then we haven't thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And so this is actually one of the ways that we show our gratitude and appreciation to Allah. By showing our gratitude and appreciation to our parents, we're actually thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a hadith from Imam Rida where he says that, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, where he says, فَمَنْ لَمْ يَشْكُرْ وَالِدَيْهِ, the person who does not give thanks to his parents, to his mother and father, لَمْ يَشْكُرُ اللَّهِ, then such a person did not give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the reason why we have so many blessings in our life is because our parents are the ones who were the support and the means for those blessings to come into our lives. Someone came to the Prophet and asked him, Man a'adham haqqan ala rajul, who has the greatest right upon a man? And so the Prophet responds by saying, walidah, his parents. So there's a difference between, in Arabic we use two words for parents. We use walidan and we use abawan. So there's a difference in these two words. The word walid, walidan, when it's used, it actually comes from the word wilada. So the emphasis is given to the maternal figure in the family, the mother. Whereas when the word abawan is used, it's referred to, it's given emphasis to the paternal figure in the family. It gives emphasis to the walida. Sorry, abawan refers to the father figure. So when we see in the Quran, when the Quran uses the word abawan, it usually talks about the rights of the father upon the child. But when we talk about the mother, the word walidan is used. And so the reason why the word walidan is used is because the mother, not only did she give birth to us, she gave us our existence, but also she gave us our personality. She gave us our character. She gave us those qualities in us which we have. And so the Quran always uses the word, most of the time uses the word walidan to show that we have a more we should show more importance to our mother. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't show importance to our father, but we are more indebted to our mothers than our fathers. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali. In Risalat al-Huquq, the Imam Sajjad, he talks about what are some of those rights that, what are some of those blessings that a mother has given to a child. And he says that a mother has given a child something which no other person has given. That the mother has given thamaratul qalb, the fruit of the heart, that no other person has except that he can get from his mother. There's always this debate going on: who's stronger, a man or a woman, or man or woman? Everybody, men usually say men are stronger, and women say that women are stronger. However, when we look at some of the riwayat, we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given women a strength which men do not possess. We're not talking about physical strength, but we're talking about the internal and that spiritual strength that a woman possesses. A man doesn't have that. One of my teachers, he used to say that, if men were told to give birth, and they were the ones who would become pregnant, that the population of earth would be, a fraction of what it is now. Because men do not have the level of tolerance to handle that. But women, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed that strength within them, where they can tolerate it and not only do it once, but then do it again and again and again. For most of the time, men, even if they go through something very difficult, they don't want to go to that for a second or a third time. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad. A person comes to the Prophet and he asks the Prophet, Man ahaqqun nas bi husni sahabati, that who is the person that I should spend the most amount of time with, and who deserves that time that I have? So the Prophet said, Ummuk. He said, your mother. Then he says, Thumma man. He says, Ummuk. Then he says, Thumma man. He says, Ummuk. Then he says, Thumma man. Then he says, Abuk. So the Prophet said 3 times that your mother is more deserving for you to spend time with Then after that, the fourth time, he replies that your father is deserving. And so this is the status that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given our mothers. And so we have to be extremely vigilant in how we treat both our mother and our fathers. There's a hadith al-Qudsi where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to Nabi Musa. And he says to Nabi Musa, Ala inna ridaha ridai. That the rida of a person's mother is my rida. The pleasure of a person's mother is my pleasure. Wa sakhatuha sakhati. And her displeasure and her anger is my anger. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ya ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So what are our responsibilities to our parents? What can we do to fulfill those rights that we have upon us in terms of our parents? In Surah Luqman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. And spend time with them, spend in their company, how? Ma'rufa, by spending good with them, by being good with them, by talking softly with them, by not raising your voices at them, by talking humbly, by talking gently. Do not become irritated with them. Do not become angry with them. And this is an important thing because especially for us as young children, as we grow up, as we grow older, we don't understand the importance that our parents have had in our life. When we were younger, we needed our parents a lot more. But it's possible that as we get older, the importance of our parents decreases because now we're independent, now we're working, and so we don't require our parents anymore. Now our parents require our presence. But it's important for us to recognize that even despite our independence now, there was a large part of our life where we depended upon them. And this is what Imam Sajjad says in Risalat al-Huquq. ta'lam annahu asluk. Know that your parents, they're the asl. Know that whatever you have in your life, it's because it comes from your parents. وَأَنَّهُ لَوْلَاهُ لَمْ تَكُنْ. And had it been not for your parents, لَمْ تَكُنْ, you would have not been anything that you are. All of your success, all of your accomplishments, it's all there because of your parents. فَأَلَمْ أَنَّ أَبَاكَ أَصْلُ النِّعْمَةِ عَلَيْكَ. Then that your father, that he is the source of all of those blessings in your life. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So what is the second thing that we can do for them? The second thing that we should do for our parents, regardless of whether they're alive or they're deceased, is that we should remember them and we should do dua for them. And we should constantly ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise their status and bless them with forgiveness. This is dua taken from the Quran. رَبَّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيَّ. Oh Allah, forgive me and forgive my parents. وَارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. And have mercy upon them just as they had mercy upon me, as they gave me my tarbiyat and brought me up in this dunya. وَجْزِهُمَا بِالْإِحْسَانِ إِحْسَانًا. The good that they did, reward them with goodness. وَبِالسَّيِّئَاتِ غُفْرَانًا. And had they committed any type of sins, forgive them and overlook those flaws. This part which is important, وَارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. That have mercy upon them just in as how much they had tarbiyat upon me. That the amount of tarbiyat that they've done to me, have the same equivalence of forgiveness for them. So it's important for our parents to realize that the amount of tarbiyat that we give to our children, the same amount of forgiveness that we also receive. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So what are some of the other things that we can do for our parents? There's a hadith from the A'imah where he says, مَا يَمْنَعَ الرَّجُلْ مِنْكُمْ. What is it that's preventing somebody from among you أَنْ يَبِرُّ وَالِدَيْنِ, to do bir and to show nobility to your parents. حَيَّيْنْ أَوْ مَيَّتَيْنِ, whether they're alive or whether they've left this world. يُصَلِّي عَنْهُمَا, that he should pray on their behalf. وَيَتَصَدَّقْ عَنْهُمَا, and if he should go and give sadaqah on their behalf. وَيُحُجْ عَنْهُمَا, he should go and do hajj on their behalf. وَيَسُومْ عَنْهُمَا, he should do fast on their behalf. فَيَكُونَ الَّذِي سَنَى لَهُمَا وَلَهُ مِثْلُ ذَلِكَ. So that if he does that, not only does he himself get the reward for doing that for his parents, but he also gets the reward for that. That the more people that you include, the more thawab you get. Somebody came, I remember one time we were sitting with one of our teachers and somebody asked him that, what dua should we do? And so the person said that, are you restricted in only doing one dua? Do as many dua as you can and include as many people as you can, because the more people that you include in your dua, the more barakah and the more blessings come in it. So when we do something good, whether it's a small act of charity, whether it's a small act of worship, in order for that to increase and reciprocate, we should include as many people as we can. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And then another hadith, he says, Ar-rakatan khafifatan. We think that 2 units of prayer are khafifatan, mimma tahtaqirun, that we don't consider to be of any high value, right? Ahabbu ila sahib hadha al-qabr min dunyakum kulliha. That if our parents have departed this world, that the thing that they're looking forward to the most is that their loved ones who are alive are at the minimum sending 2 rakat of prayer for them. And that is the most beloved thing for them that there is in this world. So if our parents have demise, if our parents are not here, they're anticipating that we send something forth to them. And at the minimum, they're only looking for 2 units of prayer. And that is the best thing that we can do for them. Don't underestimate that. What are 2 rakats of prayer? That may take you 2 or 3 minutes to do. The person who's in the grave, for them, that is one of the greatest blessings that they can get. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali. And another thing that we have to realize is that our futures and our present state is constantly linked with our parents. If our parents are alive, then our ulama and our scholars, they say that if you have a hajat, to go to your parents and go serve your parents. And by serving your parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill your dua. And if your parents are not here, then go to their grave and ask them to do dua for you. And if their grave is not accessible, close your eyes and bring yourself to the grave and ask your mother, ask your father who have departed this world to pray for you and to fulfill your hajat. And so we have to understand that there is a constant and continuous link between those who are dead and those who are alive. And it's important for us to realize that what we do is impacting those deceased ones that have left this world. The deceased, there's a chapter in Wasa'il al-Shia which is called Bab an al-Mayyit yazur ahluhu, that all of our deceased relatives, if our parents have passed away, if our grandfathers have passed away, our grandmothers have passed away, or an uncle who has passed away, that one of the things that they do is that they always come and constantly visit us. They come and they see what we're doing. And so in some hadith it says that they come every Thursday night. Some hadith say that they come once a month. Other hadith say that they come once a year. But it's dependent upon ala qadri manzilatihi. It depends on their level of ma'rifat and their level of iman that they have. So what's important is that we don't know when they come. They could come on Thursday night, they can come on Monday night. But what's important is when they visit us and they see us, we should be acting in a manner where they're proud of us, where it brings joy to them. The hadith says, فَإِذَا رَأَى أَهْلَهُ, if they come and they visit their family members, they see their family members, يَعْمَلُونَ بِالصَّالِحَاتِ, and they see that they're doing some good actions, they see them that they're attending a majlis or reading dua or reciting Quran, حَمِدَ اللَّهَ عَلَى ذَلِكَ, they praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. It brings joy to their graves. وَإِنَّ رَآهُمْ بِشَرٍ, but if they come and they see that they're doing something evil, they see that they're disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they see that they're busy with the world and have neglected them, are not reciting anything for them, have not recited Yasin for them, have not sent sadaqah for them, what happens? Hazina waqtamma, then they become sad and their graves are filled with sadness. So what is important for us is that we don't know when they're going to come. They could be coming any time of the year, they can come any time of the week. But what's important is that we have a lifestyle that whenever they do come and when they do visit us, that it brings them joy and it brings them happiness. And that we should avoid a lifestyle that if they come and they do visit us and they see us doing something bad, know that it's affecting them, it's affecting their state in their grave. And so we have to live a life which is like this, a life which is filled with amal salih, with righteous actions, which is far away from sins, which we're doing good for them, we're doing good for others, we're sending things to them in their grave that they can take benefit from that. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali For those of us whose parents have departed this world, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive their sins and raise their status in the akhirah and bring them closer to the level of the Ahlul Bayt. For those of us whose parents are alive, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala extend their lives and give them longevity, give them health and forgive them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that in this month of Ramadan, that He forgives all of our sins and the sins of our parents and grandparents. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us the opportunity to go for the ziyarat of our A'imma alayhim as-salam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to live a lifestyle where when our deceased relatives come and visit us, they're happy and they're joyful and they're glad. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the dhuhur of our Imam and make us among his supporters and loyalists. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك على كل شيء قدير. Because it is Thursday night, let us also recite Dua Salamati of Imam al-Zaman. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma kulli waliyaka al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan. صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم لك يا رحمن.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Now I'd like to invite up Brother Akbar Kazmi to give us an update regarding the safety and security plan here at Saba. Please invite him up with a loud Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, brother, next slide. So we talked about this plan last week. We have fine-tuned it, enhanced it a little bit, and we just want to repeatedly present it to you. And hopefully, one of these nights we'll have more people who would actually see what we're talking or hear what we're talking about. So maybe one of these nights we'll do it right before the main program in like next 4 or 5 days or maybe in a week so that we have higher exposure. So request to you is to talk to your friends, talk to your family, make them aware of the situation around us and tell them that there's a plan. They should come and become part of the volunteer group that would be taking care of the issues if something happens. If some emergency arises, we need to have trained people who understand how to help people. And also, everybody else in the community needs to know where to go, where to run, where to hide, who to go to if they do do see some issues. So that's what the purpose of this presentation is. And the reason we want to repeat it is that we just want to make sure that you grasp some of it. So the team has been working on it and will continue to fine tune it. Initial plan was to have something done for Ramadan, and then we have exhaustive plan that we will create and implement before Muharram so that our Muharram programs are safe. The bottom line is to provide you safety and security in case of emergency situation. You already seen the names of the people here. They're quite familiar people. So if you see anything suspicious, you go report to them. If you want to help, go talk to them. If you have an idea, go talk to them. And they will make sure that that idea is shared with other people in the team and they take action on it. So now for Ramadan, we have 2 security guards. They're not armed, but they're patrolling the outside of the building so that they can spot what's going on, and if something happens, their goal is to, as quickly as possible, inform the management that will take the action, and if there is a need for evacuation, we will trigger the evacuation based on the situation. Next slide. Moving pretty slow today, just like me. Maybe 10 rosas will bring you down, yeah. What's happening, Brother Majid? Your computer is fasting too? All right, I think it. Okay. All right, so in terms of various type of emergencies, typically, can you go back one slide? You have medical emergencies like somebody getting sick, getting heart attack, having a stroke, some kid run into another kids. That has happened with us a lot. So these are the emergencies that we take care of. Go back, please. And then you have these natural disasters, fire-related emergencies like roofs, because of the rain, roofs collapsing, earthquake, fire, and things like that. So we take care of those. So we have to train ourselves for that and make sure that all our equipment is up to date. So that is a quest that we're working on. And last not but least, people are concerned about the threat of attack on Saba Center, especially us, because we have threat from people who hate Muslims, and also we have threat from people who hate Shias, and we are the most prominent center, at least this part of the country, as a Shia center. We're doing a lot of good stuff to neutralize those things, but we have to be prepared for it. And as part of this prep, as we've been requesting, we need a lot of volunteers, and we need 2 classes of volunteers. So go talk to your friends and family and bring them out to enroll. One group will be trained to monitor the premises and take action based on their training from the professionals. The other group is the people who will also get trained how to help in case of emergency within the hall, so they don't have to actively participate in daily security activities. Their training would be to react within the hall that they usually attend, and then help people around. So that's what we need for a lot of people for, because we have at different times we have like 7 different programs, so we need at least 2 or 3 people in every hall, especially ladies side. We need 4 or 5 ladies there in each language hall, because ladies have kids with them, so they need extra help. So please come forward, especially request to my sisters. Sisters, please listen to me. So on peak nights, like even in Ramadan, the nights of majalis are coming. We will have 5 different programs. Each program will probably have ladies and gents on both sides. So we need to have ladies come forward as well. Currently, we have 4 or 5 volunteers who are always coming forward and helping, but we need other sisters to be part of this team so that they can be trained to help themselves and help others. Please, next. So in terms of medical emergency, the goal is to isolate the person who is impacted by medical emergency, isolate them. If you have help available in terms of first aid, CPR, we provide that, and of course call 911 as soon as possible so that paramedics can come in and help. In terms of natural disaster, again, as I said, fire, building collapsing, earthquake, and things like that. So we'll train people for that, how to evacuate people from each hall, and if there's some rooms involved in this, how to go reach out to people and help there, and help people to designated exits. So we need to remember where the exits are and things like that. Next, please. Now this gives you, so in order to prepare for these kind of emergencies, we need to understand where we are, where we're sitting, where the exits are, what part of the building we are in. So I'm giving you a view of the business parcel or business park that we are in. So typically we come from Nortex side, or some people come from Fortran Road side. Most people come from Nortran side. So you cross two buildings. One of them is church, we all know that. The other one is a business. And then we are the third building. In that third building, of course, we have a building behind us, that's the fourth building, another church. In that third building, we have two sections. One is that we typically use, and we are sitting in south section, and there's a north section that has some offices and some Rise Academy school classes and labs and other areas. So let's go to the next slide that expands the section that we mostly use, and that's what we have to work on. So this blue section is the section that we use, and it has multiple exits. So you facing me, you are actually facing north. So keep that in mind. So the doors on north side, this hall, the other side, ladies' hall, and same thing in the back. So based on the situation, you will decide, or based on the guidance by the volunteers who are helping as part of ERT, which door you run to. And once you get out of that door, where do you go? So if you go to the next slide, this shows you full details of different halls. So on the left-hand side, you see the main hall, you see kitchen behind us, you see Arabic hall, Farsi hall, and all the hallways and corridors. So be aware of this, so that once you exit the hall, you know where to go. You have, let's say if you exit from this hall, from the back side towards the kitchen, and ladies also go to the back side. So there's a ladies exit, there's a exit near the kitchen. You run all the way to the other side of the building, and you have exits near the Rise Academy area. So keep all those things in mind. So we'll roll this so that this kind of like grows on you, and you remember these things when something happens, what to do. And last time we talked about it, so we'll blow up these copies and put them in all the halls so that people know where to run to. Next, please. So in terms of evacuation, so number one thing is to stay calm and be orderly, because if we don't follow order and process, then fewer people are able to get out, and you stumble into each other, you fall, you create a stampede situation. So have to stay calm.